welcome to Channel 36. And tonight we're going to do a tribute to the one and only, what we think is the most magnificent man around, and that is Mr. Charles Aidikoff. And hello, Charles.
Hello.
Charles, this is for you. This rose, it's a single rose, but it's a rose of beauty and youth. And it's for you.
Was that the best you could do for me?
I mean, for now. Anyhow.
Oh, for now. Okay.
For now,
okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Charles, there's no one like you, no matter what.
What I would like to say before we start,
yes,
if I may.
Yes.
You know, I'm at a slight disadvantage in one respect. You have a whole list of questions that you're going to ask. Me, I have absolutely no idea what you're going to ask me. But I hope everybody understands that, so stay with me, okay? Thank you.
Charles, you're so quick and witty.
Please.
You'll answer those questions just like that.
Will you please watch your language, please?
Yes, yes,
Right.
okay, I will, okay. No, really, you are such an inspiration to everyone that knows you and meets you. And you're awesome, that's it. And also, I like to tell the people that you're a great humanitarian. First of all, I don't want to forget, they call him the icon of Beverly Hills. And Charles has a beautiful digital screening room in Beverly Hills on Rodeo, right?
Correct.
And every week he sends an ambulance around in the audience, and he said, please give a donation. He's been working for this charity in Israel for a long time. How many years?
Oh, it's about a dozen.
It's a long time. Yeah. And he has gathered a lot of money for Israel for the ambulances. And that's why we call him the great humanitarian. And also he does auctions in town.
Auctions.
Live auctions. And he brings in a lot of money for different, organizations and everything?
Yeah. All charitable groups.
It never ends. I mean, they call him. And they want him to get up on stage. And he's so witty. And he's full of humor. He loves to tell jokes. What's your best joke?
Lately?
Well, yeah.
I'll tell you one right now, a new one.
Okay, let's hear it.
A woman comes up to her wife. The wife comes to her husband and says, would you please take your blouse off? So he takes the blouse off. Then she says, now take the skirt off. So he takes the skirt off. She says, now I want you to lower your panties and take them off too, which he does. Then she turns to him and says, now look, if I ever catch you wearing my clothes again, I'm leaving you. Okay?
That's a funny one. I can't remember these things. And I don't know how you remember them. Oh, my God.
Plenty of them.
Oh, God forbid. Anyhow, I have to get my glasses on to see the rest of this. Otherwise, I have my trouble. But like I said, we all love you. And I'm going to start a sentence. And I want you to finish it for me, okay? Charles Aidikoff. Go on.
That's me.
That's right. Finish a sentence now. Charles Aidikoff is...
I used to be a legend, but now I'm an icon, which I'm glad you put up. You understand? I love being around. I am very happy at my age, which now is 99, I'm very happy to be here. In fact, as I said, at my age, I'm happy to be anywhere. Okay? You understand
Charles,
that?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So I just want to say that every day, one of the business executives, studio executives, agency executives, they'll come up to me with that same question, Charles, at your age, don't you think it's time for you to retire? And I told them, no, how can I retire? Who will take care of my parents? Right?
What do you owe this great longevity to?
Fast horses and slow women.
Slow women?
Oh, you told me no sex, okay.
Oh, well, I want you to do what you feel that's in your heart.
Only in my heart? Thank you for cleaning that up a little.
Okay, well, you must remember, this is going to go out on YouTube.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know.
I know my wife is going to see it also.
Okay, let's clean it up a little bit, maybe.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, another thing I want to ask you. I'd like to know Charles Aidikoff's deepest, innate feelings that you never expressed before or never told anyone before. Let's do it on television now. Think about that for a second. The real you beneath all of this around you.
I've had that in my mind and in my heart most of my life. Nothing has changed. It's still the same. I just feel great being alive, and I'm looking forward to my 100th birthday, which is just coming in February. And you want to know something? I've already had a discussion with the man above, and who told me you'll be here till about 120. And I said, thank you, but I want 120 and 2 weeks. And he says, what's with the 2 weeks? I said, give me 2 weeks to get my affairs in order. And I'll tell you right now, God, if I can't take some of the things with me, I ain't going. That's all.
This I love.
You like that?
Oh, do I like that? Yeah, of course I like it.
My grandkids still think I'm a bank. You're right. That's why I've got this.
Of course,
you know.
it's very clever. Now,
Yeah.
another thing I want to ask you, is there anything, are you holding any secrets inside you that you've never told anyone before? Or how about a secret that you've never told your wife before that you would like to tell her now?
No.
Think about that.
I've thought about it a long time, but in the condition that my wife is now, which incidentally, she had a stroke 5 years ago, so there's nothing that I would tell her now that she would even understand. And the things that I have in mind, you have to understand, see? So I won't even bring it up.
Charles is married, how many years?
66 and a half years.
66 and
To
a
the
half.
same woman.
That's a record.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's hard today. Boy, you've made it now.
Yep, November will be 67.
God bless her. Yes,
Yeah.
Mrs. Aidikoff, that's it. You have a great husband here. Like I said, he's very awesome. We all love him, okay? I'm going to go to what I feel like you're in the Projectionist. Your father started you in this business. How old were you?
Well, if we want to start at the beginning, my father was a projectionist, and when I was 7, 8, on Saturday afternoons at his theater, they would have a serial every Saturday for the kids.
Uh-huh.
And I used to go to watch them, like Pearl White or stuff like that. And then as I got a little older, around 9, 10, I said to my father, Dad, why don't you show me around in the projection room? Which he did. And actually, he broke me in. At 10 or 11, I was able to run the screening room. His place, not mine. Because I was living in New York at that time. And it was just wonderful. So I've been in the business now, to be exact, 90 years to be exact.
Aren't you the oldest projectionist in the world?
Now, I'm not the oldest projectionist in the world, but I think I'm the only projectionist at the Academy. I was voted into the Academy a number of years ago, and there was an old projectionist who lived over in Europe, in Italy, I think it was.
And how old
So
was
I know
he?
he passed away about 105.
Oh,
Yeah, so I don't
well, that's
know.
okay. You'll reach that.
Well,
you know.
actually, I'm not even known as a projectionist anymore. I own a screening room. I don't even do any more work there, except we collect the money, that's all.
Well, you're doing something. Like I said, you're a great humanitarian and everything.
Well, thank you.
And it's exciting. And I want to find out, with all the movies that you see, and you see tons of movies, you've done that for years, what's your favorite movie?
Well, if we start, I'll give you the same ones that I gave the LA Times when they asked for the first 100 all over. And what I told them was about a month and a half before they came out with theirs. And would you believe it? The first 3 were exactly the same. Citizen Kane, number 1. Casablanca, number 2. Gone with the Wind, number 3. They disagreed with me on that one. They said number 3 should be Gone with the Wind. I said, absolutely right, but Gone with the Wind was only one. The one that, no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up.
Right.
Gone with the Wind was what I said was number 3.
Okay.
They came up with Godfather. And I said Godfather was done more than once. I think Gone with the Wind was better at 3.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite
what it was.
was Citizen
Yes,
Kane.
okay.
And I've met him,
Now,
incidentally.
who was in Citizen Kane? Who was that?
Orson Welles.
Oh,
He came to my screening room. I have a picture of him on the wall.
Wow, very impressive. Would you say, who's your favorite actor through the years? Your favorite one
Well, there are a few.
that you consider personality-wise and his workmanship as an actor and the characters that he's portrayed?
Let me put it to you this way. There are quite a few of them. And if I start mentioning anybody, and some of them are not included, they'll stop using my screening room.
That's
so I better
true.
keep quiet.
Yeah, that's true too. Okay, I could ask you this though. You meet a lot of women and they're all beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. What woman, can you answer this, that stands out personality-wise?
Well, Catherine Zeta-Jones was beautiful, and I had a good rapport with her. In fact, I took a picture with her, and I put it on my cell phone.
Okay.
So one day, they were having a screening at the room, and Michael Douglas was there with her, but he didn't go in while she was watching the show. He sat with me in the projection room. And I said, Michael, I'll bet you I see more of your wife than you do. He started to laugh. I said, what do you mean? I said, here, and I showed it him. It was a picture of the two of us. That's when she did Chicago. And let's say the dress was a little bit short.
A little bit risque.
A little bit risque.
Yeah.
So Michael called her in and said, Catherine, come in. I want you to see something. So she came in to take a look at the picture. Yeah, that was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah, she's lovely.
Charlize Theron, also a beautiful woman.
Okay, and good personalities too.
Yeah, both of them beautiful, yeah.
Now, when you say, I want to ask you, when you leave this fabulous world, or what would you like to have written as an epitaph or on your stone for people to remember you by?
Well, I've already told my son, my oldest son, what I would like to have on there, honestly. Because don't forget, is also my wife. So I said what you should write on there is, in life together and in death forever. And that's what will be put on our tombstones.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's very romantic.
Yeah. And besides, he'll be lying right next to me, so who knows?
Oh my God. What is the most unexpected thing that has happened to you in your lifetime? The most unexpected thing that really surprised you and really shocked you?
Well, it's not something that really surprised or shocked me, but it had something to do with a film that was being shown in Philadelphia on a preview night. And the owner of the film was Joseph E. Levine, who was the head of Embassy Pictures. It was shown in Philadelphia, which is a predominantly Jewish city, mostly. And the name of the film was Springtime for Hitler. They had 67 people in attendance that night. So he sent a picture to me, but they changed the title. They called it The Producers. And when it came in, Peter Sellers used to come into my room every Tuesday when he was showing and doing a film in Los Angeles. This particular night, according to film being Italian or French or Spanish, he'd have food. Well, this night was Italian food. The name of the film was Il Italione, a very famous film, very famous. When they finished eating, he said to me, Charles, let's go. I said, with what? He said, with the film. I said, I haven't got the film. He says, come on, Charles, stop kidding. I said, I haven't got him. So he looks at Paul Mazersky, who was there, and he said, what happened to the film? He looks at his partner, Walker, and says, you were supposed to bring it. Nobody brought it.
Oh, my
So
heaven.
Peter runs into my projection room, and he starts looking at all the cans. He said, I want to see that one. I said, that one you can't see, because Joseph E. Levine told me to hold it until he's ready to decide what to do with it, because it didn't work in Philadelphia. He says, look, I promise nobody will know. We'll have a big group of people outside. He did. Top talent.
I believe it.
He says, show it, and I promise we won't say a word. I said, okay. Famous last words. Sorry, won't say a word. I showed him the film, and he ran up and down, walking up and down the aisle, laughing like hell. It happens to be a very funny film, the producers. When it was over, I said, remember, Peter, Satovaci. Yeah. The following morning, I get a phone call from New York, Joseph E. Levine. Charles, by what effing right did you have to show that film last night? After what I told you, and I'll tell you right now, you'll never see me at your screening room again. You lost my business. He hangs up on me.
Wow.
5 minutes later, I get a call, honest to God, 5 minutes. I get a call from Peter Sellers. Charles, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. We've got to show it again tonight. I said, you do? I said, F you, Peter. I said, we ain't showing anything. I hung up on him. A few minutes later, Joe Levine calls me. Charles, as sweet as can be. Charles, you have my permission. Show it to him again. I showed it to him again, and Peter Sellers, the following day, took out a full-page ad in Variety, full-page ad in the Reporter, saying what a wonderful new, funny film he saw.
Wow.
Directed by a new director called Mel Brooks. He says, you must see that film. It is beautiful. Picture took off. Not only came a sequel, there's a second one. And then they had a show at the Pantages Theater, the producers.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing, believe it or not, was what I helped them with that picture. They had this big premiere, never invited me. They never invited me to the premiere. Absolutely, right.
What happened there?
Boy, this is Hollywood. What do you expect?
Yeah, you never know from time to time. But my friend Annette,
yeah,
she loved the producers. And
Oh,
Mel
I do
Brooks,
too.
she loves Mel Brooks.
I showed it a couple of weeks ago again.
Oh, I mean, that's going to be a classic.
Oh, yeah,
that's
it
for
is a
sure.
classic.
But Mel Brooks is funny. He does funny material.
Oh, yeah. And then they did a second one. See, the first one was with Zero Marcel and Gene Wilder. They did another one years later with Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick.
Okay.
And on the back of the DVD, they explain how this picture came to be with the showing originally at the Charles Aidikoff Screening Room. This is on the disc.
Oh, my heavens. Wow.
Yeah.
You had all those big names,
Yeah.
too. All those people, definitely. Now, Mel Brooks, he directs and writes.
Oh, yeah, he's a big
He does
director.
both.
Big director. Very big.
Now, if you had to do your life over again, would you do the same things? Would you go into the same business? Or did you have another desire in life to try another vocation?
No, not to try another vocation, but as long as you're asking me, if I had to come back again from scratch, I'd like to come back as a pretty woman.
Oh, you would? Well, tell me why.
Absolutely.
Why? What would you do as a pretty woman? You tell me.
With all the men that you can meet, you don't have to pay for a thing. The men take care of you
Oh,
and
so
everything.
that's why you like it, because you would be taken care of?
Absolutely. I'd be taken care of completely. Don't have to worry about anything. Just be careful not to have too many children. Okay.
But tell me, there are a lot of men that don't like pretty women,
Yeah,
too.
no. No, but seriously...
But that would be the basic.
But seriously, what I've been doing, I've loved all my life. I don't think I'd be doing anything else. I loved it.
Because it's not dull. It's exciting.
Oh, yes,
And
I've loved it all.
It's like a new adventure every time, and you never know what country you're going to be in. You travel, you go to different places, different faces, and I want to ask you, when you get up in the morning, what do you think? What's the first thing you think of when you get up in the morning?
First thing I do is I look at the LA Times. I look in the obituary column. If my name ain't there, I know I'm going to have a good day. Okay?
So you're going to start smiling and you go through your day good. Huh?
Yes, absolutely.
What, your job, what is the hardest thing about your job, even when you started years ago? Anything difficult regarding that?
No.
Technicality-wise, or...
No. Let me tell you, at the beginning was the easiest of all, because there was no sound. It was all silent.
Oh, yeah,
I started with silent films.
Oh, that's what I want to ask you about, the silent films.
Silent films.
But tell me about, before we go into the silent films and everything, the technical end of it. Was it difficult, like I said?
No, the technical end was not. It was very easy. It was easy. Because they just handed you one reel, and you put it up, and you thread it through, and that was it, silent. Once sound came in, then you had a problem. Because you had to have sound. And where was the sound originally? Not on the film, it was on a record. and you had to put that needle in the exact spot where the first frame of the film was. And God forbid a truck drove by that street like this, the records would jump up and down. You have to shut down and start all over again.
Oh my God, now that's stressful.
That's
very stressful.
That would happen.
What was your impression when the sound came in? What feeling did you have?
I loved it.
Compare,
I loved
with
it.
no sound.
I did. I absolutely loved it. It was great. And the first sound came in. It wasn't a jazz singer. It was the Lights of New York, which was 1927.
The Lights of New York.
Lights of New York. It was just music.
Okay.
Just on music. And then the jazz singer came
without
in.
Jolson?
That was Jolson was 28 and 29. 1928,
okay.
29.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you think it was a great thing when they came into sound and everything?
Sound was great coming in. The biggest advancement of all in the industry was the starting of sound.
Okay. What were the response from the people that came in and everything? Did
they
you get any
loved it.
feeling from them at all?
Oh, yeah. Everybody loved it. They applauded like crazy, no matter what you did.
Okay. So what studio was the first one that started with the sound?
Warner Brothers.
Warner? They were the first one that came in?
And then after that, don't forget, they came up with other things like Cinerama. Cinerama was with 3 projection rooms.
I was going to ask you, what is Cinerama exactly?
Cinerama, 3 projection rooms on the street.
Excuse me.
They had 4 projectionists working every show. 3 in the projection rooms and 1 downstairs who controlled everything by saying, "Gentlemen, start your machines." And they'd start, and they'd all go at the same time. 3 projectors right onto the screen.
Wow.
Cinerama.
Wow.
I opened Cinerama. I was there with the opening.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
Whereabouts? Here in L.A.?
No, in
Back
New York.
east?
In fact, what was funny, when they opened here, there was a statement I made, like I'm telling you now, about Cinerama, how I started. You know, I got a call from the chief projectionist here. Mm-hmm. And he says, "By what right did you say you work here? You never worked for me here. Who are you kidding?" I said, "Are you out of your mind?" I said, "I'm talking about 25 years ago when it opened in New York, not here." Then he hung up.
I want to ask you, who started 3D? When did that come into effect? 3D. What?
3D came in with a few companies. I think Disney was very, very responsible. In fact, that's one little story that I always tell people. When I was working as a projectionist, before I had my own place, I used to work out of the Union. They would send me out to all the theaters where the projectionists were taking vacations.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And this particular 2-week vacation I had was Disney. And they have a lunchroom in the back. And I would go out, they told me, you go out and you can have your lunch there while you're working there. The second day I'm there, there's a man across the way from me sitting at a table by himself, and he points his finger at me like this to come over. Well, I walked over to him. I knew who it was. So I walked over, I said, "Hello, hi." He said, "I'm Walt Disney." Wow. I said, "Oh, you have to tell me who you are." I said, "I know who Walt Disney is." And Walt Disney took a picture. I have it at home where he signed it. It says, "I can also draw too."
Such a talented man. Oh, how brilliant. Oh, brilliant. My God.
He started the whole industry.
Oh, how brilliant that was. Okay, so we have, the sound, 3D that we talked, Cinerama, that covers all the screens, right?
Yeah.
That we go through now. We're
the
not missing.
Cinerama you don't have anymore.
No, we don't have any.
That's
But
gone.
then we went into digital.
Oh, yeah.
So when did that start exactly? When was that?
Digital started about, I'll say about 12 years ago. And the minute it came out, they had a showing at the Academy. And the boss of it was Ray Dolby. And he was up in the projection room where I was. And I said to him, I have a screening room in town, but I can't afford the price to put it in. He says, "I'll take care of it." He says, "I'll give you 2 for the price of 1, which he did. So I got 2 sets for my 2 projectors.
Wow.
Only cost me for 1.
Wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, something you told me in the car coming over here about a magazine from France.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Tell us about
It's not
that.
a magazine. I got a call.
TV.
I got a call from a TV station in Paris and said, "We have a couple of people that will be there in the next month or so, and we're doing a show on different people around the world. And we heard a lot about you. We'd like to interview you. I said, no problem. Have them call me, which they did. They came down, the projection, the guy with the camera, the author, they were all there in the screening room. And they shot about a half hour. And they said that it'll be ready in September, and they're going to send it to me, a copy, before it appears on TV.
Oh, you should feel so flattered.
Yeah.
How exciting that is.
Look, anything they do for me, I'm always flattered. The price is right. Doesn't cost me anything.
As long as it doesn't cost you anything at
No.
all. Well, like I said, I don't. I was thinking about you today all day, even before I picked you up and everything, and I thought, well, we started here on Channel 36,
Yeah.
remember? We started on
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and that was about 7-8 years ago.
Also, Leith Eaton also had me here for screening.
Who did?
Leith
Oh, she
Eaton.
did?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, we're going to put the picture of that she did of you with the star on.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to put that
You can use it.
on this show, too.
You can use it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's been a ride, and I think we're going to have some more rides with you. I certainly hope. And like I said, there's only one like you, the one and
I know they
only.
broke the mold after me. I know
That's
that.
right. You know, we were going to title, I discussed it with my friend Annette, and we were going to do The Man, because you are that special man. But then we thought the one and only would be good, so that would be
Good.
so much better.
Are you listening to this? Are you paying attention? Good.
What do you want to tell the public out there? Anything else about you? Because you're marvelous and you're extraordinary. I used the word inspirational before, and you're the utmost. So what else would you like to tell the public, things that you want them to know about you?
Okay. All I can say is if you want to have a long life, honestly, be careful in what you're eating. Seriously. Stay away, and I don't want to mention their names, but stay away from those places that serve that type of food. I have salmon almost every night of the week, and I love it, and it shows. So why stop eating it? So I have
Well,
salmon.
they say fish is very good for the brain,
Yeah.
brain cells.
And maybe once every week or two, I throw in a piece of chicken, just to break up the monotony.
Moderately, a little bit like that,
Yeah.
too. And only that, don't you feel like happiness has a lot to do with longevity? The
Yes,
happiness
yes.
within yourself, within your family, and that's very important, too.
Well, I can say one thing, though. Never, never, never go to bed angry with your wife. Make up before you go to bed. And you do have arguments during the day, but don't go to bed with it. Make it up before you go to bed. Kiss each other and have
That's
a
good
good night.
advice. That's good
Absolutely.
advice. Anyhow, thank you, Channel 36. We love you. And Charles, come over here. I'm going to give you a kiss.
Is that the best you can do? A kiss again? Okay. Mwah.
Thank you.
One day I'm
hopefully join
telling
us
you.
again on Channel 36, the one and only
It's
Charles
a shame, though.
Aidikoff.
It's a shame to get off that. When it comes off, then I'll tell him.